Yo, what's going on everyone? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Time for a little monthly haul. This one for December of 2024. Let's squeeze this in before we get to some real good stuff. But this is kind of a good one, man. The usual 13 new things that I got to listen to. Most of them at least 2 listens. A couple, a listen and a half, but enough to weigh in at least a good first impression, let's say. Also, going to show you some other stuff that's a little older, but I've been listening to it anyway. And finally, I'm going to show you, like I told you I would start doing, I'm going to show you everything that I got, whether I got to listen to it yet or not. I got a stack of stuff here that I got off Facebook Marketplace, probably going back a good month, but all for a couple bucks each, and a nice little haul there to show you. So that'll be at the end. A little hard to tell. Let me see if I can change this situation here. But we are lit up. All right, this would look better at night. All right, I got new lights because I don't know what happened to the last years, but you can't really tell. I'm turning that light back on. Anyway, it's a little festive in here. All right, here's something that is pretty festive. Let me get the shameless plug logo headed your way. My wife hooked me up with this last Christmas, I guess. Oh, it must be frosted over. All right, well, we got a highball going on, all right? I don't do straight liquor. I think this is Gentleman Jack and a little Canada Dry. And a healthy one at that. Yes. All right, let's do it. 13 CDs that are new to me. Oh, actually, before I get into it, let me take you through, I don't know if you guys noticed on that shelf back there, things looking a little different last episode or two, or more maybe, I don't even know. But went under a major reorganization. CDs all over this damn house. Time to get them in here. Let me just walk you through what I did. It's pretty kind of cool. Here's a little sort of walkthrough video. All right, guys, let me just walk you through the reorganization that I did a few weeks ago. The whole point of it was to somehow incorporate hundreds of CDs I had stashed in my living room, up on shelves, on bookcases, in drawers, cabinets, you name it, and somehow get them into this shelf here, which I forget how many it holds, a couple thousand, and basically reorganized everything in a certain way. Let me just tell you what I did. First of all, I was able to find this cool Pottery Barn. Found out by looking online that it was originally from Pottery Barn. This CD holder, I don't know how many it exactly holds, I didn't count, but I used to have just my Sabbath bootlegs in a drawer by the TV, this little sort of stand. I don't know, it was 50 or 60 of them. All the other bootlegs used to occupy this drawer right here, the shelf right here with all the digipacks, okay? So just by reorganizing, I was able to get a couple hundred CDs from the living room that were stacked around onto this shelf. So let's just walk through it real quick. But what you might see right away is everything's now horizontally lying on the shelves, okay, which is just really awesome. The videos are still up top like they always were, but by stacking them that way, I wasn't losing that couple of inches up above each video. Just the digipacks on that shelf underneath there is kind of cool. I just didn't want them smashed under a bunch of jewel cases. I know they're still getting sort of crushed by each other a little bit. What the hell are you going to do? Like, I avoid these digipacks as much as possible. It's just unavoidable in a lot of cases. It's the only way certain things come out. So, and got some cool stuff. Maybe someday we'll tour this shelf a little bit, just see what's doing. Lots of coolness in there. All right, someday. What I have below there, they used to be the bootlegs. They are now in that Pottery Barn CD holder that I bought. Now that thing, here it is, just how it looks in the living room right now. And it unfolds and into what I think looks like a really cool CD case, but we're keeping it folded up. I think folded up like that as a little sort of, I don't know, table or whatever, looks pretty creepy. I mean, to me, it looks like Slappy from Goosebumps. It's about to come popping out of that thing, But anyway, that's how it is. Here's how it looks unfolded. These are now all the bootlegs that used to occupy 2 of these shelves, plus all the Sabbath bootlegs. They're all in there. They're barely all in there, but they are. So it's nice to have them all in one spot finally. So that's kind of cool. And I gained 2 shelves of space over here. So here's one last thing I did. I don't know if you noticed, but still, everything, CDs and videos, everything now horizontally lying on the shelves is really cool, because it just makes it just a pleasure to walk in this room and pick something out, as you could see. And this thing, of course, goes all the way down to the floor. I have to get down on my knees to take a look at some of those things. But what's really nice, but I'm glad I did, as far as new releases, you guys know I'm always behind, and I've kind of made peace with the fact that I'm way behind on all the things I've picked up in the last few years. I'm calling it a library. All right, you know, not everyone who walks in the library read every book in the library, even if they're there all the time. So there you go. Anyway, what I did, put all the CDs I haven't heard yet on these 2 shelves. All right, it comes to about 240 CDs, but I just like that they're not mixed in with everything else like they used to be, most of them, you know, in alphabetical order. Because now when I'm in the mood for something new, I have 2 certain shelves to come to. And we're about to do the monthly haul, which focuses on 13, 15, whatever CDs. And I'm going to pre-select the ones that I'm going to do next month. And then I don't have to go crawling through the entire collection. They're all going to be right on these 2 shelves right here. So maybe we'll just sneak a little look at some of the stuff I haven't got to yet. Or maybe not. Whatever. All kinds of goodies in there, man. There's the usual mix, metal, rock, even some progressive stuff. And as you can see, the box sets and a little miscellaneous leftover video that bled from the top shelf down, that's there. And there's the main collection. That's just regular CDs. And I actually did get rid of about 60 CDs too, that I just realized I just didn't like them, don't care. Not sure how I even got some of them. Must have been in a goofy mood one day. But that is the reorganization that went on here. I'll give you guys a look at the wall. You can only see parts of that. All right. That Saxon Denim and Leather's autographed. That's kind of cool. All right. Let's get on with some monthly haul action for, we'll call it December. Stuff that I was listening to the last 6 or so weeks. Nice organizing stuff every once in a while. It gives you like a fresh face on looking at your wall, or however you got your stuff. And anyway, so let's get into it. 13 new to me CDs and a healthy batch at that. This would be one of the, I don't know how many it is, maybe 14, 15 things I got from a Facebook Marketplace haul. I'll show you the rest of the stuff, but I got to listen to this one. Never heard this album. Mountains, I think it's their debut. Climbing, all right, 1970. Leslie West, of course. This record was made to be played loud, and man, they weren't kidding. This album's great. It just is. I love this thing. I only listened to it once all the way through. I'm in the middle of it right now, actually. Had to walk out to my car to get this. And I just love it. I mean, I haven't heard Mississippi Queen in quite a while, and haven't had a good listen to it in forever. You know, that classic rock radio beating the hell out of that song. Got sick of it. Well, 30 years later, I'm ready for it again. And Under My Control, in my car blasting it, that song is awesome. And a lot of this record is really awesome. Not everything's as heavy as that, but it's all good. Man, I love this record. I also got Nantucket Sleigh Ride coming up too from that same situation. So I'll be showing you that. Anyway, this is great. And I'm just getting started on it. I love it so far. Can't tell you more than that. All right, I was driving around with it and a little distracted, but I just know everything that I heard I really liked. Now here's a band I got, I think 3 or 4 of their CDs a couple months ago. So I figured I'd just start with the beginning. I have never heard one note of these guys, and I got 4 of their CDs because they were $1 each. And I figured I'd just start with the oldest. Sounds Like This by Nectar from 1973. All indications from what little I read about these guys are that they kind of morphed into a different band a couple albums after this. I don't even know what that means. It's just the general consensus opinion. Because I saw a few reviews and a couple of them saying it's a good album for their early period. That's sort of the thing. So is that Bacillus Records, I think, there? I don't know. But I'm really liked this record. And, I'm not a big progressive guy, as you guys probably know. It's not really that progressive. It is in the beginning, And as it goes along, it just becomes more of a jam record. Lots of bluesy, great guitar work, it's just jamming. Or, 10-minute songs, 12-minute songs, a lot of them are just really jamming going on. And rock and blues jams, not really prog stuff at all. So I don't know if these guys got more proggy later. There certainly is some progressive songs in the front half of the album. As it goes along, though, it sort of changes to a more rock record. So I don't know what these guys have to come. I have 3 more of their albums, I think, back there to check out. But I really liked sounds like this. Now here's a brand new release from just a couple months ago. America Live Hollywood Bowl 1975. And I'm a huge America fan. All right, so this review is coming from someone that knows their shit. I really like this record. I mean, it's the first live album with the original lineup. And they've had at least 2 that I know of later on. One from, I think, 85. They had one from King Biscuit Flower Hour, 82. And they did have one live in 77. That was without founding member Dan Peek. Now, George Martin directing, what's the name of the orchestra? Symphony Orchestra on this. That was sort of the big buzz about this record. Get to hear George Martin, of course, Beatles fame, conducting an orchestra during, I think it's 8 of the songs on here. Not that noticeable, honestly. The orchestration on here is not very upfront. 2 or 3 songs, yeah, maybe. Overall, not necessarily. Kind of your bare bones package here, I gotta tell you. I mean, America's not exactly Zeppelin, right? So, all right, let's just talk about what matters here, the music. This is a great record for a true America fan like me. There are, I think about half of these songs are not really hits. Maybe a dozen of them are. There's at least 8 deep cuts here out of 20 songs. Miniature, the first song is really just a 1-minute intro kind of thing into Tin Man. So really only 19 full songs, and 8 of them are not hits at all, or not even hits that were made into hits by being on the Greatest Hits record. The great one. I do question a couple of the instruments on here just sound too good to be true. Suddenly a 12-string will sound like it's right next to you. Almost like it was added in later, okay? I'm thinking of the song Hollywood. There's a prominent 12-string part that comes in after the end of every 2 lines. That just sounds almost too good to be true. And there's a couple other spots on this record sound like there might have been some overdubs later on. I'm not saying it was, but it does sound a little suspiciously excellent in spots. Overall, the sound is very good. And it's really great just having Dan Peek on a live album. And I think he gets 3 songs in a row at one point. Lonely People, Don't Cross the River. And he has another one, Is It Glad to See You? So some deep stuff on here, like I said, and of course I love that album. Next on to some Robert Palmer. I picked up a bunch of his records a couple months ago. I think 4 or 5. The first one I think is called Secrets from 74 maybe. That's a really good mixture, blend of different styles of rock and pop, a little reggae and soul. This one is a little more, well, decidedly more, I should say, soul, okay? And Philly soul at that. And this is called Pressure Drop. It's from 75, I believe. And it's still a good record, even though it's leaning soul on a good half of it, all right? The song Pressure Drop, I didn't like the first time I heard it. Second spin, I started to really like that song, his version of Pressure Drop. Toots and the Maytals. All right. And what else? The first song on here, Give Me an Inch. It totally sounds like Crosby Nash from like 74, 76. Could have been on the Wind on the Water album from 75. It's just bathed in these sort of minor chord harmonies, I guess you'd say. And man, it's just a really good song. Give Me an Inch, the first song on here. And there were no big hits off of this one. Okay, but man, it's another really solid album from Robert Palmer. He has a good, so far, the 2 albums I've heard, a good catalog, and I have 3 more to go on. He was another artist I picked up 4 or 5 CDs for $1 each. Next, let's go to 1978, The Scorpions, Taken by Force. I got this about a year ago. Gave it 1 play at that time. Maybe it was 6-8 months ago. I don't know. It's gotten played a couple times in the last couple weeks. And it's great. Man, what a damn good album. One of you guys told me, get on that. And you were right. This is awesome. Now, Steam Rock Fever, it's good. I don't think it's one of the better songs on here, though. There's a couple of great songs. Sails of Charon, of course. You know what? Going by the titles, I'm not even sure. There's a live version of Polar Nights here that's from Tokyo Tapes. I kind of like the version that I was talking about on that 77 Swiss TV video better than the Tokyo Tapes version. But anyway, it's a really solid album all the way through. I wish I had jotted down some. I think We'll Burn the Sky's a killer. There were several songs on here. It's just a great album all the way through, honestly. Taken by Force is a Japanese version with Obi and stuff. I don't know which EMI, so it's a later one, you know. But anyway, it is a good, damn good record from the Scorps. Again, man, their 70s catalog with Yuli. I'm loving that stuff, man. I have Virgin Killer. I kind of went right from Entranced over to Taken by Force. I need to backtrack to Virgin Killer. I only played that like once and never got back to it. Here's some Elton John. Picked up for $1, 1980 album, 21 at 33. Big hit on there was Little Genie. Man, I remember hearing that song like every 5 minutes back in 80, I guess. And otherwise, the album is pretty just sort of pop, all right? It's not old school Elton. It's not total sellout pop like he started to do a little later on. So it's right in the middle. It's probably exactly what you would expect from Elton John at this point. Old school MCA disc here. This was another $1 pickup, okay? And I just love seeing these old school cases, man. I know, just for the old retro vibe, looking at that thing. But it was a decent album. You know, it's probably something I'm going to play every like 5 to 10 years, honestly. But not bad. Just a little safe and a little bit of pedestrian pop here. Not much edge to that, most of that record. But it's okay. Now here's one. I didn't know what to expect. Other than Kirk, you told me. You gave me a heads up that this was a damn good record. I really like this record a lot. Maybe a little more than I should. Not sure what that means. But Steve Miller Band, Circle of Love, 1981. One of those sort of missing piece albums, you know. Got a big hit again the next year in Abracadabra. Beyond the 70s, when it was super popular with that greatest hits from 78. This record, very decidedly pop. Not a ton of guitar on it, and still really good. Does that review sound familiar? The album Abracadabra, I had the same thing to say about that. Modern, poppy, although Abracadabra was a little more sort of new wave style. This, just sort of straight up pop. But again, Steve Miller, man, he just comes up with some great harmonies, great melodies. He's always harmonizing with himself. Triple tracked, quadruple tracked. It's his voice, you know, 2, 3, 4 times over. And it works so good. He knows how to harmonize with himself like a master. But the songs on here are just really damn good. I gotta tell you, man, everything on here is good. What's the worst song on here? Maybe Baby Wanna Dance, but it's 2 minutes and 14 seconds. The rest of this record is really solid. Of course, you got what used to be the entire side 2 on vinyl. Macho City at 16 minutes. Okay, the last song on here. This was another pickup for $1. Man, what a score that was. I'm going to be reaping those rewards for a while. Macho City, kind of funky, kind of dancey, you know, but it's also cool at the same time. I just really enjoyed this. Heart Like a Wheel's a great song, and Song Circle of Love's really good. Really liked Circle of Love. Very good album. On to some Thin Lizzy. I'm working on this, trying to complete their collection. Thunder and Lightning. Got myself a Vertigo from Japan. That's kind of sweet, right? Of course. All right, there. And take a look inside. I had one of these in my cart on eBay, on my watch list for a while. $25 and free shipping. And then up pops this one for $10. And I think I paid for shipping, but all in all, it was $15. So that was a nice score. Now this album, I have to tell you, I like the older stuff, all right? I even like Snowy White stuff better, although I still need Renegade. But I'll take Chinatown over this any day. And it's a good record. It's just Lizzy turning more towards the metal scene that's coming on, right? But to me, what's missing are those guitar harmonies, you know? Those twin guitar leads, man. Those songs within a song that those guitars used to do. Because it still seemed to be going on with Snowy White in the band. Not so much here. The one song, Bad Habits, has some of that. But that might be the only song that really has a sort of tasty lead in the style of old school Lizzie. So Cold Sweat's a monster. That song's awesome. Thunder and Lightning is okay. This is the one I really like. The Sun Goes Down I love. Holy War. Now a lot of these songs, even though I just got this album, I've had videos from this tour going back 10, 15 years. So I'm very familiar with these songs. All right. And most of these songs got played on that tour. So the videos have the majority of the album. But I'm not in love with Thunder and Lightning because it seemed like Lizzie was a little out of their league trying to be a quasi-metal band. And I don't think it was their best hour songwriting. But it is still really good. There's not really anything on here that I don't like, you know. Although I don't have to admit, I don't really remember much about Someday She's Going to Hit Back. The rest of the album I know really well and remember from all those video listens. And it's good. Just not my favorite from Thin Lizzy. 1983 on that, right? And let's scoot ahead to Foreigner's Agent Provocateur. About what I expected in terms of the band being modern, and you can just tell from that lame cover. You know, we're heading into the 80s here. Foreigner 4 is in the dust. And, you know, I guess it's about what I expected in terms of they're still rocking here and there, and they're totally wimped out here and there too. And a bunch of songs kind of in between, really. Tooth and Nail's a pretty decent rocker. You got a lot of modern sort of effects on there out of the synthesizer and what have you. Pretty much just studio stuff. That was Yesterday. That might be a sort of adult contemporary soft rock song. That one works for me. I really dig that synth sort of lick that they do right after the chorus. Boom, 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 boom. It's cool sounding. It's on a synthesizer, but it's what they're doing really sounds good. Nice little fill there, lick. And of course I Want to Know What Love Is. I don't usually skip songs. I listened to this all the way through once. Second time around, I skipped right over that song. That's not a bad song. I'm just, you know, how many times can you hear it? Growing Up the Hard Way, okay. Reaction to Action, that's okay too. Stranger in My Own House, honestly don't remember that much. The album does not finish strong. There's a couple of decent songs. I don't know if it's Love in Vain, Down on Love. They're okay, I think. A couple of songs towards the end are pretty lousy. Overall, it's just okay. It's worth owning if you need more Foreigner after the first 4. It was interesting to hear it. I'm glad I only paid $1. It might be worth 3, all right? Not bad, not horrible, not great. Even worse, Bad Company's Holy Water. I got it for free. Great way to get a CD, right? 1990, I think, on this one. Still got, I think, Mick Ralphs on guitar, all right? But of course, Paul Rodgers is out of there. I did not enjoy this album much at all. I didn't even get most of the way through it. I got about 6 or 8 songs in. I just don't need to hear this sort of 1990 pop rock, all right? It just doesn't work for me. It's just too, you know, on the nose, I guess you'd say. Nothing risky here. Nothing like old school Bad Co. And I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea, and I'm going to probably be ditching this. I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in there. I don't think any future listens are going to help that situation. Way too much cool shit back there for me to waste my time with that. I'm sorry. Maybe some of you can tell me to listen to certain tracks or something. Otherwise, I have to let that thing go. Now, this one is pretty high on my first listen. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And After the Storm is the title on this, a promo copy, as you can see. This is a better than I expected album. 1994, but there are a bunch of really good songs on here. It does start to wane towards the back end, but along the way, it is pretty damn good. And I'm trying to remember what song. I don't know if I love the first one, but there was a couple songs on here. It might have been Find a Dream, song number 2. It sounds like Neil Young's about to walk in the room and start playing guitar or singing. It sounds like it could be a Neil Young song, and does remind me of some of the stuff on Sleeps with Angels, Neil's album from the same year. So I have to look at maybe some writing credits. But there are a bunch of good songs along the way, although it doesn't finish as strong. When I talked about this before, I had only heard 6 songs. They tend to be the better songs on the record. I did listen to it in entirety and the first half of it twice. Really like the first half of it. The second half of it starts to lose me though. Not bad though. Better than I expected for 90s CSN. And finally got to this one that I picked up a few years ago. Doyle Bramhall II with his band Smokestack. All right. Album called Welcome. So I'm imagining this is their debut. Now, I know him from being Roger Waters' guitarist on 99 and 2000 tours, which I saw a bunch of. I think I saw Waters 5 times between 99 and 2000. And his guitar playing was awesome. What I loved about it was he would nail all those key parts of the solos that Gilmour used to do. Maybe 30% of the time throw his own style in. Very Stevie Ray Southern sounding, twangy Fender style. And I like that because you got what you needed out of the solos from the records and then some sort of freeform stuff. So he was a great guitarist for Waters. I wish he would have stayed around longer. But I didn't love this album. I actually really like the songs for the most part. It's blues, as you can imagine, blues rock in the mold of Stevie Ray. But his voice, I'm assuming he's a singer. It's not a great voice, you know. He's just not a great singer. I don't know what else to say. His voice isn't the best. His singing ability is decent. All right, I'll say that much. But it's not awesome either. So it kind of, that would be a step up for him to get someone else singing. I don't know if they did eventually have to be on this record. But I've had this back, like I said, back there on the shelf for a long time. So it was cool to finally listen to that one. They're the 13. Oh, one more, sorry. Got to mention Luck and Strange again by Gilmour. This I just got around to almost the damn day of the concert, I think, before I played it. But man, I love this thing. I've heard it 2 or 3 more times since the show that I went to. Total of 5 times, I think. And I think it's great. I just love this whole record. You know, I mean, most of the record I think is great. A couple songs are good. Overall, 9 songs? A couple of them are really short ones. So you really got 7 major tunes on here. A couple of bonus tracks came out before Yes I Have Ghosts, an original barn jam of Luck and Strange. So great stuff. Need that one for sure. So that'll do it for the 13 newest. Here comes some things that I just been listening to a little bit lately. Told you I heard this once and liked it. It went right back on not too long ago. April Wine, Nature of the Beast from '82. And what a great record. I don't think they really ever beat it listening to other people. I got Animal Grace back there I need to get to from '84. But this one is just awesome. Nature of the Beast, April Wine. Now here's something I got a year or 2 ago and played it once. I liked it. I didn't love it. I got to check this out again. No Parole from Rock and Roll, because I ordered a bootleg from these guys, so that I haven't shown you yet. First album, 1983 or 84. Got a Japanese copy here. 83, actually. Okay. And man, I like this record a lot. A lot more like Deep Purple than I remembered. A lot of keyboard action going on. Goes great. Of course, Yngwie's killing it. And I really like this record a lot. Just got it for the first time not too long ago, a year or 2 ago, but never played it twice, only played it once. So I wanted to revisit that because of that bootleg that was on the way. And yeah, it's really good. In anticipation of 1976 box set, gave my old school Vertigo Jailbreak a listen, and of course, ditto for Johnny the Fox from Lizzie. Be talking about that 76 in a minute. Gave a couple listens to my version of Sabotage by Sabbath. What the hell am I talking about? Classic rock and metal review version, ultimate album version, whatever stupid name I gave it. So this is the order I put these songs into. All right, Superstar, that starts this out, just like a concert. Into Symptom, just like a concert. Am I Going Insane Radio? Let's get that single up towards the front of the album like it should be. The mission here was to spread out those first 3 songs that were the best. All right? Radio goes into the Writ. Your side 2 now goes It's Hole in the Sky. Don't Start Too Late into Megalomania. The album ends with the thrill of it all. A Little Blow on a Jug. That's my version of how I listen to Sabotage. We'll talk Sabotage more later. I have a bootleg on the way of the original. Is it original US vinyl? I think is on the way for that one. We'll check all that out later. We talked 13 on the last Sabbath update, and I listened to this leading up to that update, and this stayed out and got another listen. File me under fan of that album. I know there's some people that aren't. I love it. All right, it's Christmas time. A little bit of recent listening, just today actually. Busted out my favorite Christmas album right now, America's Holiday Harmony. I got this a couple years ago and only played it once for whatever reason around Christmas. Last year, I got into it a lot more. And it's just a really good one. America puts their own spin on a lot of classics, but there's also 3 original songs that I think are among the best songs on here, maybe the best actually. It's almost like having a new America album, you know? 3 new songs, and their own takes on a lot of those other songs are really interesting. Some stuff's a little jazzy, some of it's almost like a little bit of big band, there's something going on in there. It's just all over the place stylistically to just keep you guessing, and a whole new fresh outlook on a lot of those standards. So also, I've had this laying around a couple years, Chicago 25, their Christmas album. This is more like a soul album, all right? I wasn't expecting it to be old school Chicago, but it's not even like recent Chicago. It's kind of like R&B soul, you know? And it's not bad though. It's not a whole lot of horns and so forth either, like never mind guitar. The horns aren't even that prominent. Maybe 4 songs out of this whole album have a lot of horns, but it's okay. I don't think I need to hear it again this Christmas time, you know. Gave it my once, and that's the end of the Christmas stuff. So I told you I'd start letting you know what else I got. Even if it's not going to be talked about, reviewed, I'll let you know what came in the door. I told you I ordered, somebody was selling a loose disc of Rattle That Lock from Gilmore. Okay, here's this regular disc and so forth. There was a sort of deluxe edition that came out that had a second disc, and here it is. Somebody was selling it for $4 and free shipping on eBay, and that would be, it's a DVD. And the contents just look really juicy. Lots of video performances to watch, and then I think the 5.1 mix of the album Rattle That Lock. How do you not spend $3.98 on that, right? So the only problem is trying to tuck it into this, you know the deal with these cases, right? They just sort of little felt button you were pushing your CD in, and it won't hold to no matter what I try. So figure something out for that. That got here. I think I already showed you that Live in Gdansk arrived. 4 CD version. This one is actually PAL format, but I have a player that'll handle that. So it's cool because you get the 2 CDs that were the live album, Live in Gdansk 2016, and then you have a DVD of the concert, 15 songs of it anyway, plus a documentary, and disc 4, which is, it's a little hard to find disc 4 unless you want to spend 50 or 60 bucks on your NTSC version. This DVD has 4 different performances, all right, on here. Now I had some of these already, all right, on various different bonus editions of On an Island and such, but it'll just be cool. There's also some barn jams on here I've never seen. This Abbey Road Studios from August of 2006. I have a couple songs from that. Not this Echoes acoustic. Looking forward to that. And then On an Island, 5.1 surround sound mix. So total win there. Got both Rattle and Island 5.1s, basically the same month. And my library was giving away a bunch of CDs, so I snagged for free Let Love Rule, Lenny Kravitz's debut. Now, of course, he'd go on to do a lot better stuff. It's a little, it's okay. It's not bad. And he plays, I think, every instrument on here. Wrote all these songs. There's a couple good ones. Let Love Rule's cool. Freedom Train, I think's good. Mr. Cab Driver, nice one. That was a nice little pickup. Let's end this episode. This is getting out of control. Getting too long. These next batch, all from a Facebook Marketplace score about a month and a half ago now. I don't even know. But about $2 each. Leonard Skinner's First. They expanded that original record into the complete Muscle Shoals album. So I think everything that was on Skynyrd's First and Last is on here, plus more. So that's cool. This one's actually still sealed. Nice. Got myself a copy of The Wall. Somehow that has been gone for a while. This might have been $4 as a double CD. So it's in great shape. Nice recoup. All right. Little Feat. Feats Don't Fail Me Now. All right. That was a cool one. All righty. What the hell's this? John Entwistle. Whistle Rhymes. All right. For a couple of bucks, of course. And what do you got? Sanctuary. Is that the label? Yeah, I think that's so. Bonus track edition, so I'm not sure what version this is, but that was kind of cool. I've never owned any John Entwistle, so that'll be cool. And also another one, Smash Your Head Against the Wall. All right. Again, Sanctuary. And again, bonus tracks. There's more bonus tracks than regular songs on this one, or just about the same. That should be interesting. Picked up Cream Goodbye. Final album there. Is it half concert? Half concert and half 3 new tracks, I think. I think I'm done with the Cream official releases now. Gary Moore, Rockin' Every Night, live in Japan. So that was a cool $2 pickup for sure. Not a long album, 8 songs, but that should be cool, of course. Finally got some Jeff Beck. I used to have a couple cassettes 100 years ago. Jeff Beck group Rough and Ready. All right, so get into him. I'll throw him in the queue for the next monthly haul for January. More Mountain, Nantucket Sleigh Ride. So, man, that first album's great. So this will be a fun listen. I'm a Mountain fan all of a sudden out of nowhere. I used to have Best of Mountain on vinyl. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. So maybe the timing just wasn't right. Pretenders Learning to Crawl. This is almost like a greatest hits album. I got it on vinyl, but for $2, I'm grabbing it on CD. Middle of the Road, Chain Gang, Time the Avenger, Show Me, The City Was Gone, Thin Line Between Love and Hate, 2,000 Miles, like 6 hits on this thing. And they're all good, you know. I don't really consider any of them overplayed or beat. And I'm not sure if I had this one already or if this was one of the pickups from last week. It probably was, because it's in the same damn pile. King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King. I don't even know the first thing about these guys, really, other than that song. So now I get to check them out a little bit. All right. I used to have a bootleg from them. I think Amsterdam Concert Cabal, 73, which I don't have anymore, but that would be cool to get back, actually. And last but not least, got some Thick as a Brick from Jethro Tull. And they had a brand new edition there. But this is like some sort of expanded version. Okay. Yeah, not sure what was up with the other one. They had a brand new one there, but there was something about it I forget why I picked this one now. Thick as a Brick, Thick as a Brick, Thick as a Brick live at Madison Square, 78, and then interview with Ian Anderson, Martin Barr, Jeffrey Hammond. So, Chrysalis Records, Chrysalis, all right, 97 version. Guys, that's going to do it. They were the pickups and recent listening and 13 CDs that I gave you my opinion on. Stick around. What's coming up next, what I hope to get to before we get to our best of 2024, try to do a short episode, separate episode on this cool pickup from a local record store. They have some bootlegs, just usually not mixed in with the regular stuff, but that's where this one was. Rat, Rarities Collection Part 1, From the Streets to the Strip. Pretty cool stuff there. Was really happy to run into this. I've been looking for a good Rat Rarities comp. I guess there I go. Maybe a Love You Long Time. Been talking about this forever. Maybe I should actually get to it. Keep It Up by Loverboy. Haven't heard it in almost 40 years. Tell you what I think of that. So the thumbs up or thumbs down. Do I love it? Long time? Let's check it out. Give you my favorites from Anno Domini. I still can't pronounce that, man. We'll talk about the box itself. I'll give you my, what they should have released, a greatest hits from the Martin era. I think it comes to 16 tunes. All right? And I'd like to get you a review of this entire box set. I don't think enough people talked about how awesome this is. And I'll tell you why coming up. Guys, that's going to do it. I need some whiskey. The heat's on. It's drying my throat out. Guys, have a good Christmas. Really, seriously. Have a good, happy holiday, everyone. Cheers.